Happy day, friends, and welcome to those of you who are new here. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge, and I'm so very grateful to you for being here, for being present with me, for being present with yourself. I show up here in order to encourage, uplift, and empower anyone who is consciously moving through the process of healing, evolving, and growing so that they can become the highest and best version of themselves. All right. So if that is you, welcome. Thank you for being here. Again, I'm grateful for your presence. Okay. So for today's tapping meditation, the energy is focused around clearing out this thought pattern, okay, that you've held within your body that says you are less than. Okay, clearing out this thought pattern that you've held within your body that says you are inferior. Okay, so that's what today's tapping meditation is going to be focusing on. So if you've ever been in a space in your life where you felt like you were less than the people around you, or that you were inferior to, whether as a child you felt like you were inferior to the adults in your life, or you felt like you were inferior to the friends or the people around you that you were growing up with, then this tapping meditation is for you, okay? We really want to focus on letting go of that thought pattern, because it's that thought pattern, right, that keeps you, or that creates distance, that creates space between you and receiving, okay, the point of receiving, right? Because when you believe that you are inferior, when you believe that you are less than, you inevitably believe that you don't deserve. You inevitably believe that you aren't worthy of receiving what it is that you desire, right? So we want to let go of that thought pattern that says you're inferior, okay? So if you're new here, then there are some things that you need to know about tapping. It is a great energy healing tool. I like to say that it's a tool that helps us to rewire our nervous system. It's a tool that helps us to let go of self-limiting beliefs, thoughts, and patterns. Okay, and so with that, you're working with the energy, okay, in your body. You're working with your energetic body. You're working with your emotional body. You're working with your mental body, right? Because we'll be using affirmations as we tap to help us clear some space, right? And so don't be weary if you start to become overwhelmed emotionally. Don't be weary if you start to burp or pass gas, or if you start to hiccup, or I know someone who tends to cough whenever she's tapping, right? All of that is normal, right? All of that is normal because you're working with the energy within your body, within your energetic field, okay? And you're moving things around, things are shifting internally. And so your body being the filter, your body being the messenger, is going to express, okay? And so you're going to experience some symptoms, all right? So don't be alarmed. If you find yourself becoming overwhelmed while you're tapping, I always want to remind people to come back to their breath, okay? Your breath is what will center you. Your breath is what will ground you. Your breath is what will bring you back to your center. Okay, so don't be afraid to pause the video, tune into your breath, take some deep breaths if you need to, if you find yourself becoming overwhelmed. All right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And we always start with some deep breathing so that we can ground into this moment, so that we can open up, so that we can be more available to what it is that Spirit may have for us to receive in this moment. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. You should already be seated somewhere comfortable, so that you can receive the most benefits from this meditation. So go ahead and close your eyes wherever you are. I want you to place one hand on your heart space. Begin to just notice your breath. Breathing gentle breaths in and out through your nose. And as you're breathing in and out, I want you to begin to notice in your mind's eye, imagine that you're standing, who you are today, you're standing in a room. And I want you to begin to notice that in the corner of that room, there's a little person curled up, balled up in that corner, in the fetal position. And I want you to begin to notice yourself approaching this little person, this small person. And then I want you to see your hand, place your hand on that person's shoulder. And then I want you to notice this little person look up at you. And when you see this little person, I want you to notice that it's a version of your inner child. And I want you to notice which version, which age of your inner child does this little person represent? And once you've noticed the version of your inner child that this person is representing, I want you to notice yourself reach out a hand, and this version of your little child, of your inner child, takes your hand, and you walk this version of your inner child out of the room with you. And then release the vision by taking a deep breath in through your nose, exhaling the breath out. Again, deep breath in through your nose, exhaling the breath out. Deep breath in. Smooth breath out. Deep breath in. And exhale out. And then go ahead and open your eyes, okay? And I want you to just take note of the version of your inner child that you brought out of the room with you. Okay, it's this version of yourself, it's this version of your inner child that you are going to be dedicating this practice to. Okay, it's this version of your inner child, this version of yourself that you are going to be doing this practice for. Okay, you are doing this practice not on behalf of who you are today, okay, but you're doing this practice on behalf of that version of your inner child that felt inferior. Okay, you're doing this practice on behalf of that version of your inner child that felt like they were less than, that felt like they had been neglected or forgotten about. Okay, that is who you are doing this practice for. All right. So the long affirmation, okay, that we'll be starting with says, even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay, even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. All right, and so the short version of that will be, I believed I was inferior. And we'll do 3 rounds of that with those affirmations, and then we'll move to the last affirmation, which says, I am that I am. I am that All right. And so I want you to be open to allowing your spirit to show you that which you are. Okay. As we're moving throughout this, I want us to allow our hearts to be open, our minds to be open, so that spirit can show us that which we are, the truth of that which we are. Okay. All right. So if you've never tapped before, no worry. I'm going to show you the places that you should tap. So just follow along. It'll be easier for you to pause the video, write the affirmations down so that you have them in front of you. If you prefer to just listen to the sound of my voice, that's all right. You can tap and just listen to the sound of my voice, listen to me repeat the affirmations. But if not, in order to follow along with me, then I do encourage you to write the affirmations down so that you have them in front of you, okay? All right, so let's get started. We're going to start by tapping at the side of our hand. So you'll take your index finger, your middle finger, and you'll tap at the side of your hand, and you'll just start tapping around, and you'll begin to feel the spot where you should be tapping, okay? You'll notice it immediately. And so we'll repeat the long affirmation 5 times, and then I'll tell you where to go for each point to say the short affirmation. So here we go. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. So now you'll go to your eyebrow point right here, and you'll repeat, I believed I was inferior. Outside of your eye, I believed I was inferior. Under your eyes, I believed I was inferior. Your upper lip, I believed I was inferior. Your chin, I believed I was inferior. Your collarbone, I believed I was inferior. Under your arm, I believed I was inferior. Top of your head, I believed I was inferior. And then release your hand down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. And allow yourself to just notice, okay? Observe where these affirmations are resonating with you in your body, where you can feel the fuzziness, the butterflies, the sensation, okay? Begin to open your eyes. Begin tapping at the side of your hand, and we'll repeat again. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Go to your eyebrow point and repeat, I believed I was inferior. Outside of your eye, I believed I was inferior. Under your eyes, I believed I was inferior. Your upper lip, I believed I was inferior. Your chin, I believed I was inferior. Your collarbone, I believed I was inferior. Under your arm, I believed I was inferior. Top of your head, I believed I was inferior. Release your hand down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. And exhale. Deep breath in. And exhale. Again, just noticing and observing where you can feel the sensation in your body. Where is it resonating with you in your body? What are the emotions, the feelings that are coming up? Just observe and witness. And then go back to the side of your hand and begin tapping. And you'll repeat, even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I believed myself to be less than and inferior, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. And then go to your eyebrow point and repeat, I believed I was inferior. Outside of your eye, I believed I was inferior. Under your eyes, I believed I was inferior. Your upper lip, I believed I was inferior. Your chin, I believed I was inferior. Your collarbone, I believed I was inferior. Under your arm, I believed I was inferior. Top of your head, I believed I was inferior. And then release your hand down. Taking some deep breaths in and out through your nose. Exhaling out. Deep breath in. Exhaling out. Deep breath in. Exhaling out. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Deep breath in. And exhale out. And allow yourself to just remember in this moment that you are dedicating this practice to the version of your inner child that came forward, that revealed itself to you. You are holding space for your inner child, while at the same time letting go of this thought pattern that said you are inferior, that said you were less than, that said you had been forgotten about, that said you had been neglected. You have not been neglected. You have not been forgotten about. You are being held by God. You are being held by this great and magnificent power that dwells within you. That is you. You are being held by the essence of who you are. The essence of who you are is the foundation that you should be standing on. The essence of who you are is eternal. The essence of who you are knows no limits. The essence of who you are is not aware of inferiority, is not aware of superiority. The essence of who you are just is. Okay? So open your eyes, and we're going to repeat the last affirmation. So go to the side of your hand And again, the last affirmation says, I am that I am. And as you are tapping and repeating this affirmation, again, allow the Spirit to show you, to reveal to you, to remind you of the truth of who you are. All right? So go to the side of your hand, start tapping, and you'll repeat, I am that I am. 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 And then go to your eyebrow point and repeat, I am. Outside of your eye, I am. Under your eye, I am. Your upper lip, I am. Your chin, I am. Your collarbone, I am. Under your arm, I am. Top of your head, I am. And then release your hand down. Breathe in deeply. Blow the breath out. Deep breath in. And blow the breath out. Deep breath in. And blow the breath out. And we'll move through that one more time. So go to the side of your hand and repeat, I am that I am. 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 Go to your eyebrow point and repeat, I am. Outside of your eye, I am. Under your eyes, I am. Your upper lip, I am. Your chin, I am. Your collarbone, I am. Under your arm, I am. Top of your head, I am. Release your hand down. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. And sigh the breath out. Breathe in deeply. And sigh the breath out. Continue to keep your eyes closed. And just hear and remember that everything you ever believed to be true about yourself, everything that you believed you weren't, Spirit wants you to hear that you are. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are intelligent. You are holy. You are divine. You are sovereign. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are everything that God created you to be. You are everything that you declared yourself to be before you came into this story of humanity. Before you descended into this space, you declared the truth about yourself. You knew who you were and what you were. And so Spirit is inviting you to remember who you decided you would be, which is the very reason why you decided to come here in the first place, so that you could express God in the way that God wanted to be expressed through you. And that is why it is necessary for you to let go of the thought pattern that says you are less than and that says you are inferior. Because you are the essence of God. The essence of God dwells within you, is you, and wants to be known by all through you. Thank you so much for being here with me for this tapping meditation. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I want to invite you to subscribe. If you have any thoughts, any realizations, anything that you would like to share, make sure you leave a note for me in the comments, okay? I hope that you enjoy yourself after this meditation, wherever you may be, and I'll see you next time.